My bad as a chairman. Would you like to speak?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm George Neary. I'm a resident, a resident on Miami Beach on 334 West 25th Street. And I urge you to designate this home. I'd like you to think that as long as you've been in Miami Beach, this house was here. Your parents, as long as they were in Miami Beach, this house was here. Your grandparents, it probably was here before they were here. I think it's an important part of our culture. It's an important part of our history. I think that if the thinking was to not take care of this, it's like the Sistine Chapel. People couldn't believe that that could be renovated and fixed, and we know that it was. And I could sit here and name so many buildings that people used their philosophies, which wasn't very, deep, and said, oh, this can't be done. We know it can be done. We know it'll be a spectacular renovation. We've seen it done so many times. I could just list things, and I'm so glad this isn't the Historic Demolition Board. It's the Historic Preservation Board. And I can see that some people don't really understand that that's what you are. So I want to commend all of you for the work that you've done in the past, and I want to say to you that I hope you designate this home. It's very important. And as I said to the commission at the last commission meeting, we now hold our heads up high in Miami Beach. We can go anywhere and say that we're an arts and culture destination. We tell everyone Art Basel. We brag about the shows that are here. You can't demolish historic homes and still believe it's a historic city. It's an arts and culture city. As I said to them, you can't have it both ways. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? If there is no other public comment, we close the public meeting and continue with the board comments. Joe?
My daughter works in London for the British government as a conservator. She works for English Heritage. When I told her about 42 Star Island and I gave her the background and some of the stuff that had been written about it, she said, Mom, she said, why do you have an historic preservation board if you can't preserve historic houses? And that really is the question, isn't it? What are we doing here if we don't do this? I am convinced this is something that has to be saved. I made a site visit. The house is in superb condition. I went with my husband, who grew up in a 300-year-old house in New England, and he said, this is in great shape, better than our house when we moved in. So it's all part of what we have to do. This is important. This is a beautiful house, a significant house, an important architect. Everyone sees this house when they go over that causeway. It's been mixed up with a lot of other houses because it's such an iconic house. I hate that word, but I just used it. I am totally in favor of doing all we can with all the power we have to try to save this house and designate it.
Thank you, Joe. Jane?
If we can't designate this house, I don't know what the point is for having our Historic Preservation Board. I came here to help restore Art Deco hotels, and my lifestyle, which is a very nice lifestyle, has been financed by historic preservation real estate. So the fact that there's somebody who wants to buy this place so there won't be any financial loss even adds to my, enthusiasm for saving this house. I just think sometimes the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and we need to take a stand on this house.
Thank you. David?
I respect William for his adherence to what he believes to be the law. I believe originally this board voted unanimously to initiate the designation process. So I see no reason why the board is going to change its mind now about this obviously worthy property that should have been designated some time ago. Sometimes the individual enters into a debate against the power of the state. And the debate is whether the state has the power for the greater good of the community to tell the individual what he can and cannot do. And sometimes there are instances where the individual undertakes a course of action, and through some quirk, the action falls through the cracks, as it did in this case. So the question then becomes, can the state or the government or the municipality rectify its mistake by allowing a demolition permit for this house? And can the courts rule whether, because that's ultimately what's going to happen from what Mr. Held has described, this case will wind up in the appellate courts because the individuals who bought the house want to demolish a house which doesn't have enough space for them, which, by the way, is 8,000 square feet. 8,000 square feet by any stretch of the imagination is a large house. And with the proper loving care that it deserves, can be made into a magnificent property, far nicer than any McMansion they can put up, which is supposedly projected to be 14,000 square feet. I don't see how this board can vote in any other way than to ensure its place in the community, because it would be cowardly not to vote against designating this house for preservation. That's what we're here for. And so no matter what happens, if the homeowners win their battle, and by the way, Jane Gross is right, someone else is willing to pay them for this house. If they want to win this battle at the expense of the community, then I think they will live in infamy in Miami Beach. So my feeling is that we should vote for designation, and we should hold our head up high and say that we've done so because it's the right thing to do.
Thank you, David. Mr. Held, is there any personal legal ramifications to this board individually or as a whole by actions to be taken today?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you. Henry?
Herb, if I could just clarify, this board is not designating the house. This board will be recommending to the commission designation or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, the argument in front of us is a relatively simple one, and it breaks down into two opposing parties. One, which is those who believe they must safeguard the culture and the history of the city, a people. And then, of course, there's the equally engaging and attractive argument of, in America, every man's home is his castle. Right? But then Michael, in his presentation, raised an interesting take on this, and that is that there's those of us who have been appointed to preserve and defend the wellness of a people. And whereas it is true that in America every man's home is his castle, and if I didn't believe that, then I would be living on a Caribbean island or move back to Venezuela. Whereas that is true, that every man's home is his castle, it is also true that this is a government for the people. And my role up here is to try to preserve that cultural milieu, that history, that beautiful history that binds all of us together. And I believe that trumps any particular rights that may be seen to be trampled upon. Ironically, with all of this controversy surrounding the house, and if you were to add to that a carefully manicured advertisement campaign run in places like the Architectural Digest, do you realize that if this house were to be remodeled and sold, those owners are standing to make a huge profit? I wish that argument could reach them. Unwillingly, all of us have come together, some against the house and some of us for the house, and we have created the necessary condition for this home to have tripled in value these last few months. Sell the home and build a bigger home elsewhere, right? Everybody will be happy. I will be coming down on the side of recommending for designation.
Thank you. Ira?
Well, I think most of it's already been said. I think we've got a designation report in front of us, and it was pretty comprehensive. It makes the case for why this house is unique, why it should be designated, and why it is historic to this community. I don't believe you could say that of every house in this community, but certainly this one rises to that level, and I think that's the measure here. William has my respect for the very difficult and winding road that he's tread, and I can appreciate that as well. I have a sense of property ownership and the interest in the protection of property rights, but I think this certainly cries out to be one of those few homes that are truly representative of what Miami Beach was all about in the 20s and 30s and what Star Island was all about. And I think that at the end of the day becomes the measure. And I think there's been, as this process has moved forward, a great deal of arrogance that has come out of the process, which is unfortunate. As a community, we've come so long since Barbara first came to Miami Beach and enlightened the entirety of the community as to what historic preservation could do, that it really and truly deserves our recognition as the Historic Preservation Board to accept the designation report and recommend to the Commission that they accept it and designate it as well. If there's any further discussion, if not...
Thank you. I'd like to make comments as well.
Okay. I'm
Always
sorry.
forget me.
I apologize. Second time I've done that.
One of the things that I first learned or heard loud and clear from Barbara was that a historic district is much like a fabric made up of threads, some prettier, some not so pretty, but nevertheless, it's the weaving, if you will, of that fabric that makes a historic district. And just like with fabric, when you start to pull threads out of it, eventually it falls apart and you have nothing left. Mr. Neary also pointed out the fact that, you know, life is very different from 1976, and what our responsibility sitting up here today, I think, is not only to the individual applications and the individual buildings, but really to the city as a whole. You know, we have before historic districts, Miami Beach's #1 business, if you will, was the medical industry. Most of you don't remember that. It wasn't tourism, it was the medical industry, because there was no tourism here. So, you know, we could say this over and over and over again, but the fact is historic preservation has had everything to do with the income of every single one of us and of the city's coffers since historic designation. There's no denying that, regardless of which side of the issue you're on. So we have a responsibility to that product, and that product is art, culture, historic preservation. That's a product. Don't kid yourself. You know, it could be sugar-coated, it could be funny at times, it could be scandalous at times, but nevertheless, that's the product that paves our streets, that, you know, picks up our garbage, that keeps our plants, you know, on the ground. Everything, you know, all the benefits that the city reaps today are because of historic preservation and as a whole. And I think that the responsibility of this board is not only, again, for individual properties, but certainly for the product that is Miami Beach art, culture, and historic districts and history. I think that unquestionably the merits of this house on its own speak for themselves. I mean, I think it's a sad day that we're even, because of very clear legal reasons, we're even debating this to the level that we have. This should be, you know, the poster child for all homes in Miami Beach, as William mentioned, a landmark status, not just a beautiful home, but a landmark home. So unquestionably, in my mind, it needs to be considered and moved forward by this board. But I will, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the following. You know, there is a process. There's a very, very clear checks and balances process. As somebody that doesn't necessarily like to go to endless meetings, I have to admit that this city and the process that we have put in place is a very good one. And sometimes we all get very frustrated because it takes months and months and months to get to this point. There's a reason for that. It's to allow for the process to work. And although legally they may not have been required, I find it offensive that the owners, the recent owners of this home, have chosen to take their issues in a different direction when the most easy, most direct, most honest direction would have been to come before this board and to discuss with this board what their vision is for their home. I'm a homeowner. My castle is my home. But so is my neighbors to the left, to the right, in front of me and behind me, and I have a responsibility to them as well. And I think that the process and the placement is here, and I find it offensive and disrespectful that they have chosen at no point to come to this board and even entertain a conversation. And for that reason, I think it's a very, very sad missed opportunity, but that's on them, that's not on us. And I'd entertain a motion to move forward.
I'd like to make that motion, Mr. Chair, since I haven't made a single motion today, so allow me the honor. But the motion has to be stated first. I make a motion to make a recommendation to the commissioners to designate this home historically.
Okay, motion's been made by Mr. Lattis, seconded.
I have a question.
Are you seconded? Okay, go ahead. Well, second it for discussion, please.
Can you
Stay on
include
the
the
mic.
planning board in that as well? It's a recommendation, planning board and commission.
Okay, so,
Planning board and commission.
I second the motion, and I wondered, I was going to ask William about recommending the home for the National Historic Register. Is that a possibility?
I don't think it'd be appropriate to be a part of this
Right.
motion, but I think that.
No, I'm just.
I believe for the National Register, the owner needs to
the owner
consent to
needs
that.
to be,
Right, that's
have
okay.
consent,
Yeah.
yes.
I have a second question.
And I just to add to that, no disrespect to the national designation, but that's really an honorary title, if you will. It doesn't have teeth in the sense of preserving the home, or changing the outcome of the home. Yes.
Would you be agreeable to, instead of having individual local historic site, add in individual local landmark historic site?
No, I don't think,
appropriate.
That's
I
not
think you
in
need
our
to
code.
work within our
No,
language.
it's not appropriate.
our legal-
The language is how it legally should be.
It'll be an individually designated historic site, local historic site.
My question is, can we all second this?
There's been a motion that's been seconded to approve and to recommend this to the commission and to the planning board, correct? It's been moved, it's been seconded, correct, David, as well?
That's correct.
All right, all in favor, and let's do a roll call. Ira? Aye. David?
Aye.
Henry? David?
Aye.
Jane?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is,
Okay, I'm still getting the hang of this. How do I put it in the other shift?
Just go forward. No, you're going reverse now, Lisa. Lisa, stop.
I know how to drive it. I'm not an idiot.
Stop
This car
it.
is very powerful.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Are we stopped now?
You need to have more patience with me. I'm learning. Here we are.
How do you like our new future home?
So far, so good.
Lenny had bought this property in a foreclosure auction, and the tenants, or the owners at the time, they just wouldn't leave. We finally were able to get them out, remove them. So today we're going to check on our house.
You wanna knock, see if anybody's here? Nobody's here, no squatters.
Any squatters? Hello? Wow. Lenny, this is disgusting.
This is really disgusting.
Oh my God, what is that?
This place is weird.
There's a freaking dog.
I know, I'm so glad we're finally gonna get to tear this thing down.
Oh my God.
It's like a scene out of a horror movie. It's disgusting.
Ugh, Lenny, how could people live like this?
Pardon
Oh my
me,
God, that's disgusting. Look at this mattress. It has like pee stains all over it. That's nasty.
people slept here.
Or peed on it.
It amazes me the lengths that people will go to just to stay in Star Island. These people were reduced to squatters and living like animals.
Have you seen the kitchen? Could you
Oh.
could you cook in here?
Oh, I want to like vomit. That's disgusting. And it smells.
Yeah, it smells horrible.
My God.
These people live like this.
Ugh.
They let the house.
Oh my God. That's humongous. I've never seen a cockroach that size before. Oh, Letty, this is so
Look at this
gross.
beautiful bathroom.
Beautiful? Are you kidding me?
I am kidding.
I have to use the bathroom.
Good luck. I don't think it works.
Oh, I'm scared. I don't know if I could sit on that.
I don't think I wouldn't.
I mean, is there any
Look,
toilet
it's
paper?
all
There's
over.
tampons. I don't need a tampon. I need toilet paper.
The plan was to tear this piece of crap down and build the home of our dreams.
Oh,
But instead, we're fighting the city of Miami Beach and these preservationists.
There's nothing about this house that's unique or special. I hate these people. I hate these people. I hate these losers.
Having to carry two multi-million-dollar homes is not easy to do.
how much did we spend just fighting them
An
alone?
attorney's fees so far, $130,000.
Wow. My husband is paying through the ass fighting these preservationists. I want to strangle them.
It's not a freaking museum.
Have you ever seen a museum look like this? What is this, a museum of life in a ghetto?
How can anyone think this is salvageable? Are they on crack?
It's all about the property. I mean, this is one of the best properties in all of Miami.
Look at our view.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look at this. Why are these people?
You know what the scary thing is? These guys that do the tours tell these people that this is the Scarface house. They filmed a single episode of Miami Vice in this house. It's got nothing to do with Scarface. I don't know. I think they just need something to say it.
Not the Scarface house.
Why let the truth get in the way of a good story, right?
This is the Hochstein house. You're all being duped.
So just come in here for a minute.
You're scaring me.
No, this will be good. This will be good. You'll see.
Okay.
Okay, here. Wait right here. I just need to go outside. I'll be right back, okay?
Lenny tells me he has a surprise for me. I'm hoping, of course, it's gonna be a big fat diamond.
Look what I got for you.
That's my surprise.
This is your surprise.
What do you want me to do with that?
I want you to start the process of
Right
demolishing
now?
the house. Yeah. There you go.
Do I look cute?
Yeah, you look like a great construction worker. Hot
Yeah,
construction
maybe I'll wear
worker.
this for you later.
All right. Be careful.
Oh my God, Letty, this
Be
is
careful with
so
that thing.
heavy. Don't piss me off.
Seriously.
You
Go
ready?
ahead.
Oh!